Hi, this is Cousin Russ. I've been wanting to do this for a long time, but I thought I would do it tonight. Why do I merge records in Family Tree Maker rather than the quick way to do it on Ancestry.com using my Ancestry Member Tree? Now, I have a question about this person that's on my screen, and this is within my Ancestry Member Tree. And I have a question about, I might have a question about the number of children that she had. And I notice in the list of records that I have a 1910 and a 1900 census record hint for her. And I know that this is the right, both of these records are for her, but I'm going to click on review to see what the record says. And I look at the data that is being offered to me from within Family Tree Maker. Now, I could, in fact, merge these two here. And to do that, I would just click yes. And you can see in the left-hand side, this is the record that is on Ancestry, and this is what's in my Ancestry member tree. So I could do the quick and dirty and make my selection, taking the data from the record and put it into my Ancestry member tree. And you will notice down below, there are some other people, her family members that are in the household, that I could merge the record from everything on Ancestry member tree, and it would be very quick and very easy to do. So here, let me show you why that I don't use this option and why that I bring it into Family Tree Maker. Now, this is my Family Tree Maker file. Let me get this other screen out of here. That's my Family Tree Maker file for that same couple. And I noticed that there's a record. There are 6 Ancestry member tree hints within Family Tree Maker, and I'm going to select the one. And there are the 6 records, and here is the 1910 census record. So I can see the same record, and I'll just click it to open it. And that's the same record that I saw online with the Ancestry member tree. I'm going to change a thought for a moment, but here is why that I won't, that there's more work on this record than what I want to do online. Within Evernote, this is Evernote, and what I have, and this is for the 1900 census record, but I have it for all the records. What I have in here is a list of facts that I want to capture from that merge, that census record. This is the data that I actually want to bring in to Family Tree Maker or have on this person's record once I'm done merging the file. So this is a list of facts that I want to capture once it's in Family Tree Maker. I'm going to minimize that screen because now I am in fact going to merge these 2 records within Family Tree Maker. Now the first thing that I'm going to do for this test is copy the information, the citation information that's in Ancestry, because I will use that, and I will use that in a minute or two. So I'm going to click merge. Before I do that, I don't do it on the person. I'm going to do it on the head of household. So I'm going to bring the head of household on the lower left-hand side of my screen, and the head of household is on the lower right-hand side. So I'm going to compare the same 2 people, and it is the head of household, which is what I normally do. And here's where I make my choices. of what I want to bring from the record in Ancestry, which is on the right, and what's already in my tree. Now I make choices. I always want to have a record of what is on the record itself as compared to what I have in my tree. I prefer, and because I already know what his middle name is, it's the fact says just a middle initial. I'm going to bring that in as an alternate fact. The record says he was born about 1863 in Germany. I already know where he was born in November 62, but the record says he was born about 1863. He arrived in the US around 1888, and I want to capture that. It's going to come in, so that's a preferred fact by default because I don't have that in my database. A residence in 1910, I didn't have that, so the record is going to tell me where he resided in 1910, and it's a census record, and I want that to show up as the residence fact. It says he was born in Germany. That it looks like there's a duplication, which is in fact true. I will have to clean that up, and then I will click next. So that's the first person in that record. And now I've brought into the parents, his parents. Now, I don't have his parents in my database, which is one reason why I'd like to have it done here. I would have not picked that up in the merge online. I capture the birth location of the parents. Now, I don't know how their names, but I have a way of dealing with unknown names. It's not in my database, so I don't have a choice, but I have the choice to add that person or not, and I'm going to add it just to capture where his father was born and where his mother was born. So these are two new people in my database. I don't know their names, but I know that they were both born in Germany. I'm going to click next. Now I already have his wife in my database. So do I want to add a person or merge it? And I want to merge the data from the record that's online, which is in the right-hand column, with the record that I have in my database. I click next, and it's again going to offer me choices. The record gives me her married name. I want that to come in, and it's going to be an alternate name. Her birth location, I know January 1864 Germany already. The record says about 1865 in Germany. I want it to come in because that's what the record is telling me. Again, the arrival and where they resided in 1910, and the birth location. And yes, it's a duplication, but I will clean that up once the record is in Family Tree Maker. I click next. Now I already know there's 3 children, Margaret and Margaret. I'm going to merge those two, and all I did was click merge, and Family Tree Maker was very nice and very smart, and it said these 2 people are the same people, and it offered that to me. I could add the person, but I'm going to merge it because I know it's the same person. I click next, and I go through my choices again. I go through the same logic. Anything I want stuff brought in from what the record says into my database. And I'm going to click next. And we got another child. I'm going to merge the 2. And again, they merged the record into my tree. I click next. I get my same choices. Look, I'm picking up new stuff that I didn't know before. And I click next, and we have another child. And Frida, oh, there's no Frida here in the left-hand side in my database. And so I'm going to say, okay, Frida is new, so I'm going to add this person to my database. Since it's not in my database, I don't have to choose. Now we get to the fun part. It doesn't say it says Carl, and I don't have a Carl. But if I look up Eugene C., born about 1896 in Ohio, and Carl E., 1896 in Ohio, I believe that those are the same person. It's just their name is written differently on the census record. I am going to merge that person to who I guessed, and I just clicked merge, and Family Tree Maker helped me make that decision that these two are the same people. And I just told you why I thought that they were the same people, and Family Tree Maker sort of confirmed that for us. So I clicked next. I get my same choices. Now this one presents me a different option, which is why I'm glad I went through this specific merge to talk about it. My record says he was born about 1896 in Ohio, and Family Tree Maker is offering that I discard this record. In this specific case, I am going to accept the discard because it's the same information. The only difference between the left side and the right side, what I have in my database and what the record says, in that my database says USA, the record does not say USA because the record didn't say USA. But for the place name authority within Family Tree Maker, it's the same place. So I can discard that fact, but I'm going to include the citation. So this fact in my database will have this citation connected to it, and two new facts, and I click next. And now it's given me, I'm done, and this is my summary of what's going to happen. The important place on this screen is this check mark up at the top. What that check mark says, there's going to be an image in the merge. So I am getting, for my database on my computer, I'm going to get a copy of that census record. Oh, and by the way, I am going to look at that census record again, not for this recording, but I will look at the detail, and I'll go back to Evernote to show you why. But it will be on my computer, and it will be, when I sync it, it'll also be online. And I can go back to the original record in Family Tree Maker, linking to the record in Ancestry, and I'll show you that in a minute. So I'm now ready to merge this census record into Family Tree Maker. And it's now downloading the image. It's got all the data that's coming into Family Tree Maker, and it says merge complete, check close to continue. So I'm going to close. Now I'm not going to do it for this recording, but my next place to go would be to the sources workspace, because I want to clean up the source. I'm not going to do that for this recording. I'm going to go directly to the person to show you what the record looks like, and a couple of the reasons why I like to look at do the merge as I've just demonstrated. But again, my normal next step will be to go to sources. I'm not going to do that for this recording. I'm going to go to the people workspace. So I'm now back to this couple, and I'm going to go to Anna, the wife, and I'm going to go to the person workspace. So this is what the data that I have right now that came in to Family Tree Maker. Now, I am going to bring up Evernote again, because there's some things that I'm going to look for on that census record that did not come in. For an example, there's a question in the 1900 and the 1910 census record that says number of years married, and different census has that column marked differently. Uh, mother of how many children. I like that, and I will show you why I do that in a minute. Relationship to head of household, marriage status. That's not in one of the facts that came into Family Tree Maker. For this recording, by the way, I will have this screen on this Evernote on a second monitor, so I make sure I pick up all of these facts. I'm going to minimize it, but I want to. The image actually said that she was married in this census record, so I'm going to click on the plus sign, and I created a fact called marriage status, which is what the record says. And there it is, marriage, and I'm going to click OK, and 1910, married. You see that I've used that term before. So in the census record, it said that she was married, and I wanted to reflect that. Now, it's obvious, sorta, that she was married in 1910, but if I had previous records for her that from census records, and I don't in this specific case, but I can track a female, especially females, whether they're married or single, through the various census records. So I know that I can tell when she got married, or give me a 10-year span if I didn't know when she was married, but I had the marriage status from each of the census records. I would know about when she got married. Now I'm going to copy this. That's just the citation for the residence fact. I'm going to copy it, which is the second icon just to the right of new. And if the marriage status does not have a citation, I want that citation on that fact. So I'm going to click new, the down arrow to the right of new, publish, link to source citation. So now that fact is now cited. Now let me show you why another reason why I like to do the merge within Family Tree Maker. I'm going to double click on that. When I do this, and you see the same thing in the sources workspace, I have two ways to get right back to that census record. I can click on the globe to the right of the web address, or I could click view on source online. So I have two ways to get right back to that image that I wanted to look at. And I'm not going to include the citation text nor the web address in the citation, but I have two ways to get back to that image. And the image is in Family Tree Maker in the Media tab. So I am only a mouse click away of seeing that that record, and so I can get right back to look at the record. If I have some confusion later on, I can always go right back to it. Now, here is why I love the 1910 and the 1900 census records, especially for females. Now, I have got another person in my database that I'm going to look at, and look at this is the two records that I picked up in Evernote. Let me bring Evernote back up. Years married, how many children, and actually this is the 1900 census. Let me look at the 1910 census record, and Here we go. Uh, Facts to include additional is number of children and number of children living. Those two facts for females has helped me get out of trouble more times than I care to think about, because I know based on the census record how many children she should have. Now, for this 1900 census, this person had 5 children, 3 were living. So 2 children had died sometime prior to 1900. Now, if I go to the tree view, I see that she has 6 children. So something's not right here, and it's on my to-do list to find out what the discrepancy is between the number of children that said she had 5 children in 1910. All these children were born before 1900, so the number should have been 5, but it is 6. So either my database has somebody extra that's in the wrong person, or there's another marriage along the way somewhere. According to the data that I have, she has been married twice. There's the number 2, and I know what the other husband's surname was, but I don't know much about him. So I'm going to have to follow up on this to-do list, and I'm going to check my to-do list here in a second. But I can look and see how many children she had with him, and she had none with him that I'm aware of. So I have a discrepancy here, a conflict with a census record on number of children. I'm going to go back at a person workspace and look at my task list, and there we go. I have a to-do list, and I'm going to open it up. It says 1900 census record shows 5 children born, 3 living in 1910. Know of Samuel and Sarah. That means I know I have some information on at least 2 of the children. So that's why I like to, first of all, before I look at the record, to record what information that I want to capture from that census record before I do the merging stuff. I just wanted to show how I do that. I have a card for each record that I bring in from Ancestry. I have this in Evernote. It's always with me, and I can edit it if I need it. But I know what information that I want to bring in when I do the merge. And I have other cleanup that I will do, which are not important for this video, and I've talked about cleanup before. But I wanted to demonstrate one reason, several reasons here, why I like to do the merging within Family Tree Maker as opposed to online. When I looked at the online tree, I was not given the option. There's the Ancestry Member Tree view. I could add the facts, I guess, later, but I'm sure that most people who do the merging within the Ancestry Member Tree don't take the time to look at all of the facts that might be on that record. Yes, I'm sure some people do, but this is a quick click merge, which I don't like to do. I want to review the records as I go within Family Tree Maker. Again, if I want to look at that record, the image, I'm going to click that globe, and you can see it's taken me right back to, this is for not the one I did the merge on, but the husband, that census record that had the number of children that appears to be wrong. So that image is, I can get right back to it, and it's also in my file on my computer. If there's any questions, please leave the comments on the blog or in the Google Plus community, and I will get back to you. Thank you, and have a great day.